Hey, welcome to Newsbreak. My name's Nat. Coming up on the show, a historic court win for Aussie teens. Victoria's lockdown begins. And lemurs enjoy some beautiful music. But before we get started, feel free to hit subscribe. Feel free to. First up, to a historic court case involving the Federal Environment Minister and a group of 8 teenagers. Let's find out what happened.
Right, here's the sitch. So a few months ago, these 5 teens, plus 3 others, took the Environment Minister Sussan Ley to court to try and stop the extension of a coal mine in New South Wales. They argued it would contribute to climate change and that Miss Ley had a legal duty of care to protect young people in the future. Yesterday, the court made its ruling, and although the coal mine extension wasn't stopped, the court agreed Miss Ley does have to protect young people from the future impact of climate change. The decision is a world first, and experts reckon this could have a big impact on future government policy.
This is an amazing recognition that people in power must not harm younger people by their decisions.
It was a real whirlwind. I'm still processing it now.
It's one of many legal cases that are happening around the world, where climate activists are taking on governments and big companies. In fact, just yesterday, a Dutch court ordered oil company Shell to cut its carbon emissions by 45% by the year 2030. Back in Australia, the government hasn't responded yet, but these guys say they're glad they're being heard.
I think it proves how much that young people are stepping up, and it proves that people are listening to us and that we are making real change.
Now to Victoria. How you going, guys? You okay over there? Today was day 1 of lockdown, which meant empty streets, closed businesses, and learning from home. The state's COVID cluster grew to 30 overnight, and while all the cases so far are linked, which is good, authorities want to stop it spreading and make sure there are no mystery cases out there. And NASA's Ingenuity helicopter has survived a bit of a hitch during its latest flight on Mars. It was on a scouting mission to snap pics of the landscape and land in a new spot, but midway through the flight, this happened. You can see it rocking backwards and forwards and having some trouble, but luckily it landed okay and will hopefully live to fly another day. Now to some good news involving Tassie Devils that aren't in Tasmania. A group of conservationists are trying to build up their population here on the mainland, and they've just had some joeys. Wow. They don't look like Tassie Devils just yet.
Yep, take a look.
They're the size of a grain of rice.
They may be teeny tiny, but they are a big deal. It's the first time Tasmanian Devil joeys have been born in the wild on mainland Australia in 3,000 years.
Yeah, turns out way back when, Tassie Devils used to not just be in Tasmania.
But experts reckon they died out on the mainland because of hunting and the introduction of dingoes, which competed with them for food. And while there's no dingoes in Tassie, in the past few decades, a nasty facial tumour disease has killed off 90% of the population. Which is one of the reasons these conservationists have brought a bunch of Tassie Devils to Barrington Tops Sanctuary in New South Wales. And
Yes, that's Thor helping out. Chris Hemsworth.
it's a bit of an experiment in rewilding, which is when people put native animal populations back where they used to be. Not only is it helping the devils, they're hoping that one day wild populations like this could help control introduced species like feral foxes and cats. So far, 7 have been born, but with 7 potential mums roaming around the sanctuary, the team behind this project reckon there's more of these not-so-Tasmanian Tassie Devils to come.
Alright, now it's time for a segment I like to call Art, Animals, and a Good Time. In the US, the arrival of billions of cicadas has sent people a bit critter crazy, like Oksana, who's a photographer from Virginia. Recently, she's been auditioning cicadas to appear in her creative photo shoots, popping them into all sorts of scenes, from the Olympics to a rock and roll band.
To me, they're really beautiful, and I probably sound like a crazy cicada lady, which I guess I am.
As you can imagine, wrangling a bunch of insects is a fine art that Oksana has got down pat. While we're on the topic of funny animals, the Comedy Wildlife Photo Awards have given us a sneak peek of some of this year's best snaps so far. Every year, photographers from all over the world submit their funniest wildlife snaps for our viewing pleasure. And for all you photographers out there, entries are still open. How great is live music? Turns out, humans aren't the only ones who think so. These lucky lemurs are enjoying the tunes of 11-year-old Sussan Ley, who's volunteering to entertain animals at a zoo in Thailand. It's also helping Sussan Ley overcome her stage fright, she says. One day soon, she hopes to perform in front of a live audience of humans. Well, that's all from us this week. In the meantime, you can always hit subscribe. We'll be back again on Monday. Bye for now.